I think we're on. I never really know for sure though. There are like 15 buttons you have to push, and I just start pounding on buttons, just hoping for the best. But I think this is it. I'm kind of in a rock and roll sort of mood. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling the 70s, the early 80s? No. You're messing up our green screen, man.
How am I messing it up? I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it at all.
There are like 15 buttons you have to push. All right, man. But look, it's all messed up. It's like, coloring's all jacked. It is. That's true. All right, let me just press stop, and without further ado, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tool Show. It is Thursday. It's kind of a cloudy day, but at least it's not tornadoing. Did you see a tornado last night? No. Did you look?
No.
It's the first thing I do. Like, somebody says there's a tornado coming, and I'm like, sweet, let me get out there and look at it.
I was excited. I was also
what are you
deaf from the siren that went off right above my head.
Are you located near a siren?
I was yesterday.
Over here in the ghetto, we don't have sirens. I never heard anything. They don't care about us.
Nope.
They just send rich people over here a text.
Yep.
They're like, hey, if you're rich, get your ass to the basement.
Yep.
Everybody else, just carry on with your business.
You got a text?
Oh, I got texts, I got beepings, I want to know how they got my cell phone number. Everybody gets it. You know what? Okay, I'm cool with the weather notices. But the one thing that I really don't like on my phone is the Amber Alert for a lost adult.
Did you turn that off?
You can turn off the lost adult one?
You can turn off the Amber Alerts.
Well, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, come on. The lost adult is just a guy at a bar.
Look, man.
I
know where they all are. They're all in the trunk of my car, and I don't need anybody sending me a little notification about it.
And that is the truth. Well, welcome everybody to the Tool Show. If you're new here, a happy day. Welcome. And you're hopefully on a page that looks a little bit like this. And what you can do here is, as you're watching the show, I imagine you've already pushed this button, right? If you haven't, you're like, when does the show start? But otherwise, you probably have pushed that.
If they haven't pushed it,
they're not hearing this. Yeah, I know, so whatever. But then, if you have a question or comment or whatever you'd like to do, you just put it right in here and you just say whatever you want. Like, is this show about marketing? I thought it was a marketing show. Who was the guy that was talking about that last week? Like, what was his name? Ron, Paul, Dan. Yeah.
It was Ron Paul.
No, it was Ron Paul was here. So I thought, well, in honor of Dan, we should do a show about marketing today.
That sounds crazy.
I mean, straight up hardcore marketing.
I don't think so.
Dan probably isn't back, but... You don't think we should?
Let's review his website for him.
Oh, that's true.
If he's not here.
It wasn't even his website. He's just like, here's some interesting websites. Maybe they were his. I don't know. I mean, that's totally valid, I guess. But at any rate, today I thought we would talk about...
What are we talking about? Marketing?
Marketing,
Are we going to talk about it?
The whole time. We're going to talk about the SearchMetrics SEO Ranking Factors for 2014 extravaganza. Have you just been pouring over it? Like,
yep.
Just you can't get enough of it?
I've been soaking it in since 2005 or something.
The 2014 report you have?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you know how you go to a movie or like you see a movie preview and sometimes... A lot of times now, the preview is better than the movie.
Yeah.
Case in point, Transformers. Do not go. I repeat, do not go to Transformers. It is the most painful experience ever. It's 3 hours of just ridiculous. The first 20 minutes are good. The preview is great. In fact, like the preview is so good because it leaves out all the extraneous characters. Like I went back and watched the preview and I'm like, yeah, that's the movie they should have made without 15 other heroes and villains. It was ridiculous. And so a lot of times when these kinds of things come out, I just read the summary, you know, like, you know, I just read the review, the preview, you know, which is like pretty good. You know, and so like I'm like, oh Barry, I'm glad you read the 100 pages. Just sum it up. But because we were going to do a show on this, I'm like, well, I guess I can get the whole report. But I didn't really want to because he's like, with almost 100 pages. Like, really, 100 pages? This is like Transformers all over again? Really? Really? I need 100 pages? But I'm like, okay, I'm doing a show. And so I downloaded it, and I'm here to tell you, it's good. First of all, very pretty. Like, look at that look at that page. Look at how nice.
It's very nice.
Oh, nice colors.
There's page one.
I know, there it is. That counts for one. I'm like, oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. And then, you know, then they got a guy, Leonard Henning, Dr. Leonard Henning. Anyways. He's in there. It's always impressive.
What was that?
I don't know. It sounds like he's a German guy. Leonard, I am Dr. Leonard Hennig. Doesn't it? I don't know. He's probably just some American dude. Likes pizza and playing video games. He just got his PhD because, you know, what else is there to do in your life? So at any rate, but it's a great name, Leonard Hennig.
He should just call himself Dr. Pizza.
Dr. Pizza, that's right. You know what? If I had gotten my PhD, I would have done that. But that's why I don't have a PhD, because, you know, they don't give it to people like me. So I thought we could go around and, you know, look at what people are, you know, what some of the factors are, right in the actual report, as opposed to just using Barry Schwartz's, you know, very good summary, may I say. Very good, very good. I mean, there's no problem. So, at any rate, they do a nice job of summing it up with a very pretty graph. I mean, look at this baby. This thing is sweet. So here are the correlation of the top 30 factors. So the way this works is they took like 10,000 competitive search phrases. And I like this report because of this. Like there's another report, Moz does a report where they just do interviews of people, which is really cool. I always look forward to that one too. But this one, they actually analyze sites based on a bunch of criteria. So I don't know how many, like adding dozens of new factors like time on site, bounce rate. I don't know how many factors there are, a lot of factors. So at any rate, I think that's cool, right? As opposed to just asking people what they think. These people go out and find 10,000 key phrases and analyze the top sites on them. Pretty cool, right? So I mean, it's not just somebody's opinion. It's you know, the connection. Now what they do say here, and in our industry, they're always saying this, correlation is not causation. It's like when they say that, you know, the very common one is when, you know, ice cream sales go up and rapes go up, you know. So therefore, what, you're going to say that, like, one causes the other? Like, so much ice cream makes people rape people, or people rape people and then go get ice cream? Don't you know that one? It is not causation. There's no cause. The ice cream and the rape have nothing to do with each other. It's the heat. It's the heat. Anyways. So they do point out that this is, you know, they don't know. They say in the report, they're like, we aren't Google. We don't know. But we just find these things, you know.
So what are these things?
Oh, well, I'm so glad you asked, Greg. I'm so glad you asked. So here, so they have this pretty coloring up here, right? They have this nice, how to read the graph. So what is that mauve? Is that mauve? Purple?
Sure.
User signals. Orange is social. I don't know what that is. Teal, backlinks. Green on the page. Blue on the page. Oh, green is technical on page, and blue is on the page content. So what they're saying here is that the thing that they found the most correlation was click-through rate. And they were looking at just how often a site is clicked through. And they were saying that has a big, high correlation.
So they were also saying there is that like position 1 gets 32% of the clicks,
Well,
or position 3 or
Yeah,
position 10
so
is 3.
Let's see. So that it's a very good question. Like, I'm gonna get to that one because
Okay.
that one's a little bit more detailed, or a little more tricky, I suppose.
Okay.
But so relevant terms. That one is, I think, pretty obvious. That the phrases that they searched for are the phrases that are on the site itself. They found a correlation to sites that had that were being +1 by Google. The quantity of backlinks, Facebook shares, Facebook totals, Facebook, Pinterest, and so forth. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Okay, so and then they said over here they were saying what do the higher ranking sites in top positions in Google's have in common? What differentiates them from those ranking behind? So it says we've investigated, analyzed search results of 10,000 keywords according to the existence and extent of certain properties. Okay. So, and then that represents both a correlation calculated from the top 30 and an average values based on the top 10. Okay, so that's, again. So here this is the deal. It says high quality relevant content is increasingly the focus of search. This type of content ranks better on average and is identifiable by properties such as a higher word count and semantically comprehensive wording, as well as often being enriched by other media such as images or video. Regarding content features analyzed in the study, both correlations and average values have been increased. Okay, so what they're saying here in the summary is quality and relevance matter more than ever. Okay. And then they also mentioned here higher word count, so bigger pages, and then images and video being enriched with other types of media. Okay, it says for on-page SEO, the keyword is still vital, but the trend is moving away from a single subject keyword, like used car dealer in Akron, more towards entire topics. Okay. Which oftentimes we consider in this industry semantic search. It's like synonyms. Almost all keyword factors diminish slightly regarding averages with this correlations, blah, 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 blah. So they're just saying that talking about the topic seems to be becoming more and more important than just using the key phrase over and over again.
Well, would you say that's what they mean, or would you say that they more mean like to be more of like a comp? What did you?
I just scalded myself a little. I have to
Right.
trade. See, Roccio Finesca doesn't know. I have to tell Roccio. Just click the play button to the left. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, like, how is that not obvious?
I don't know, man. Roccio,
Sorry.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so they're saying the trend is moving away from a single subject keyword towards entire topics. See, when I read that, I was thinking, did that mean that don't just, like, if you're writing a thing, like you wrote a thing about publishing an ebook, right? Mm-hmm. But you wrote this giant long article, right? That was covered everything from beginning to end.
Right.
And that's cool.
Sure.
But is that what they're saying, that you should write more like that, or instead of, say, maybe breaking it up into different things?
In fact, that's what you'll see as we go through this a little bit more, that they found that longer pages tend to rank better, they're finding. The longer pages tended to be the pages at the top of the results, when they looked at word count and
Right.
even character count. So that's what they're basically saying.
So write a Bible on everything.
On every page, yes. Another summary here is fundamental to good rankings, the technical performance of the page. These factors include robust site architecture with good internal links, short load times, and the presence of all relevant meta tags, titles, and descriptions. So the big thing they found in this year was load speed. They found that the sites at the top of the results loaded faster than sites lower. So I thought that was interesting. So in contrast, social signals stagnate easily, resulting in decreasing correlations. The quantity and quality of backlinks remains crucial, people linking to you. Then it says, as in previous years, the importance of brand runs through the study, but had to be remodeled and refined. Both small and large brands play a role, even if some of the respective brand properties vary greatly. So even a small brand matters. So that's pretty interesting as well. So then, okay, so let's just kind of go through some of this here in more detail. They talk about what a ranking factor is. Then they talk about, causality and correlation not being the same, All right, Roccio clicked it. I love it, Roccio. I don't know how you say that. I like just not making fun so much as just pretending I know how people's names are. Okay, so let's see. The data used, blah, 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 database. So, it just talks about the 10,000 key phrases. Okay, so here, this again is just that same report that they had up above, but here a little less pretty. Okay. Okay, and then they describe it here. Hold on. It really gets better. Oh, and then they have an arrow. Look at an arrow. Okay, so here, this is the next thing here. And so one of the nice things about this report is that they have infographics inside of it. All right? Create a robust site architecture. So this is starting in the technology area. Increasing technical factors of top 10 ranking sites. So what they found was that a lot of these people loaded under a second. Okay?
Ooh, what's our speed?
Oh, it's 10 seconds.
Wow.
It's the same, except different. So yeah. So sites that load fast tend to be at the top of the results. And Google has said this over and over again. They're like, site speed matters. And what this SearchMetrics report is saying is, we see that to be the case. 98% of the URLs had a meta description. I thought that was interesting. So what that means is these people were filling out their meta descriptions. And meta descriptions have to be specific to the page, not something blanketed across the entire, just one meta description across the entire site. So it says here, try these things on the left. Include a well-balanced amount of good internal links, okay? So cross-linking within your site. It says average length of top 10 URLs, 36 characters. Can you imagine, what 36 characters? I mean, that's not a lot of characters, not a lot. Keeping short load times, keep the site up to date, maintaining the presence of all relevant metas like the title and description. Okay, so it says here then things on the fact, do not focus only on technical aspects. Having lots of backlinks and fast loading times mean nothing if you offer no relevant content. So there's something. So I think that's pretty good. It says here, giving a hint, become a brand in niches or in long tails. Small brands can often take the first spot in search with their homepage specific URLs or their Wikipedia entry. Pretty good. On-page criteria, so they talk about the things that matter the most, like site speed, position of the keyword in the title, like having your keyword in your title, length of the URL, meaning shorter URLs, position of the keyword in the title concerning the words, using H1. They're saying here that they found that people that used H2 tended to do slightly better than people using H1. Those are headings. Okay. Descriptions, video integration, keyword in the title, keyword in the description. So at any rate, I mean, the deal here is faster sites using your titles and descriptions, maybe even not worrying so much about H1. That's, whatever, they kind of are suggesting that. Okay, so, then they compare it to last year, and, what mattered more then, and so forth. And they're saying basically that site speed tends to matter more now than they thought it did last year. Okay, it says still few keyword domains in the search results. They said in 2012 they stated the power of keyword domain has long been known and is also clearly visible in analysis. Then in 2013 they said those days are over now. The positive impact of keywords in the URL, in particular in the domain that has lasted for years, has declined significantly, so much so that the keyword in the URL domain no longer exists as a ranking factor. So for all you people that think that you need to have your keyword in your URL, what they're suggesting is it might actually be hurting you. It says this trend continued in 2014. The following graphic illustrates how the correlations of these two features evolved within the 2 years. So what they're finding is that actually the value decreased even from 2013. They're saying it's dropped even further. The correlation for keywords in the URL dropped to nearly 0 in 2013 and has now changed to a negative, meaning that they feel that by having the keyword in your domain, it may be hurting you. That's pretty funny. All right, so that's pretty good. Let's see. Keyword frequency in the description and title. By now, it is well known that overuse of keywords has a negative effect on rankings, but there are some on-page areas where the existence of keyword factors generates a positive correlation for on-page optimization. The presence of keywords plays a significant role. All keyword and X features have been slightly adjusted this year. Okay, so here they're saying where it plays a role. They're saying that they found it having a good correlation in H2 tags, not as much as in H1. Your meta description not as important this year as previous years. Keyword title still fairly important, and so forth. Okay. On-page keyword will not disappear. They say Google is a machine that structures its data according to the relevance of search queries, and it is moving closer to its goal of semantic search, which means understanding what the searcher is searching for and producing those results even if those phrases don't exist on the page, especially since the Hummingbird update, which was a recent update. The process of analyzing context for semantic reasoning, meaning, is the pinnacle of decoding, but until then, the presence of on-page keywords still matters. And they just go on to beat that horse over and over again. So it says, in particular, Wikipedia is often well ranked even without keywords because Google understands the relevance of Wikipedia articles. They're also significantly longer than the norm. Partial queries can then be rewritten internally, blah, blah, blah.
They also have a ton of links.
And they have a ton of cross-links. They cross-link their stuff.
Well, everybody on Earth links to Wikipedia.
Links to them. Wikipedia links to itself.
It's been doing that for decades.
Yep. That's right. Then they talk about the H1 tags here. Positioning the keyword quite early in the title. So they're saying, they still find that it still matters putting your keyword early in the title. All right, let's see. Load time. They're just
diving in.
But I don't. You can dive in yourself. I'll give you the link here before this is over to download this yourself. But then they talk about how Flash. I don't know that this is anything that has to do with ranking, but they're saying that it's, it says, well, given the importance of website load times, we also queried the widespread use of Flash. And the correlation is negative 0.02 with almost 0 at first glance. It seems to make no major difference. However, upon closer inspection, the brand factor can be recognized here as well as a curve that flattens out slightly towards the end, with the average of only 14% of the analyzed sites still use Flash today. So very few people are using Flash. If you're using Flash, you should stop because us eye people can't see it. And the eye people have the money. They're going to get a $350 watch, for God's sakes. All right, so there. Now, here's another one. Content. Thought this was interesting. Content factors that increased from last year in the top rankings. Average length of characters, 8,313, with an average word count of 975. You remember the days where people said, well, for optimization, you should have about 250 words on your page? We don't find that to be the case anymore. Semantically comprehensive wording. So, just talking about the topic. I can't wait to show you the negative thing on the right here in a second. Higher word count using relevant terms. Provide other such media as images and video. They said that before. Okay. Look at this. 130 is the average number of internal links of URLs ranking in the top 10. So, they're cross-linking all the time. And look at this over here on the right, advertising. People want holistic content. Ad links were rare in the top ranking pages, meaning the people in the top did not have ads, just like Wikipedia. It says ad links, including AdSense, both correlate negative with good rankings and decrease overall in the top 30. So if you want what do you want more? Do you want advertising or do you want SEO ranking? I guess is basically what they're saying here. And Google has very specifically said that people with a lot of ads, above the fold especially, are getting dinged negatively. Let's see, expanding keywords and copy with reference to other relevant terms. Keyword stuffing is a negative thing, so meaning putting too many keywords in your page. So there you go. And then they flush this out, right? You get it, right? Let me just go down to another infographic. Oh, there's another pretty one. Never mind. Let's see here. Hold on. Longer. You want longer pages. Hold on. There's another one here I want to show you. What is this? Using internal links. Cross-linking your pages is incredibly important. One more. I just want to show you. Oh, look at this. So here what they're saying is author integration. This was interesting. They took this page here for the phrase Panda 4, and they showed on the left-hand side before June 27th, 2014. Look at all those pictures of people. See, people. And now after June 28th, no people. Author rank is, not author rank, but using author images in search is done. Done. Okay. Backlinks, earn quality backlinks. Important backlink factors on the top 10 ranking URLs. 2,080 SEO visibility of backlink URLs. So they're just showing how many backlinks they had, meaning people linking to them. And then how many referring domains linking to the home page. So if you look at the 2,080 and you compare it to the 1,718, what they're saying here is they not only have about 2,000 links on average, but they have 1,700 different links pointing to them. Then finally over here it says the share of anchor text links containing the keyword has constantly decreased in recent years and is currently at about 13%. So meaning people that use the keyword in their text on other sites is decreasing. So there you go. There's still 50 more pages of this. You should go see the whole movie if you're interested in this. Jim says, it is interesting that Google wants fast load times when they are now hinting at giving bonus points to secure sites, HTTPS, right? So does this new bonus point negate negative load time hit? So, yeah.
I guess it could. You're really kind of splitting hairs there.
HTTPS used to load slower.
Right.
But I don't know that it does that much anymore.
Yeah.
If you look at how fast Google loads.
Right.
It's more the server, how the server loads it.
Right. So, I guess it all depends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It depends on how slow is HTTPS going to make your site, how slow is your site now? I guess always just trying to do the best that you can,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would switch to HTTPS just because Google hinted that it might
help
bump me up one notch in the search engine rankings, you know.
And I think it's not a huge factor. Like if you had to pick from an SEO perspective, secure HTTPS and load time, I would say Google would rather have a good load time. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how like.
It's also interesting. Like, I mean, I know they're talking about like all these sites are the ones that they found where like, you know, the majority ranking because their load time is under a second, you know.
Right.
But at the same time, that's a little bit of the correlation causation thing there.
Yeah.
Because
it's just a coincidence.
It can really be. I mean, load time is important.
Yeah.
But it really is between you and your competitors on that particular query, right? So if you're like, you sell harmonicas, and you know you got 10 people that show up for harmonicas, like, are you faster than them? You know?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a bit of a catch, you know?
Right. So they were looking at very competitive phrases.
Right.
And yeah, those people are going to load fast.
Right.
But you know, like the harmonica people, maybe not as much. So I don't know. What can we learn from this?
Do good things.
Yeah,
be good people.
I think that's right. I was listening. I'm obsessed now with Joe Rogan. It's like becoming a thing for me. Like not a good thing. Well, I don't know. I enjoy it, but I listen every chance I can. But he said something interesting. He said he read a study that said that people that are trying to basically serve two masters when it comes to creation, like where they say, all right, I'm going to create this work, but I'm going to create it to make money. He said those people performed the worst than people that just created something just for money. When you are creating and I thought instantly of SEO, because that's what everybody does in SEO. They create content so that people will come to them and buy their stuff. And so, yeah, the content then, the content oftentimes sucks.
Yes.
Because you're not doing it for content. You're like, well, I want to come up in Google, so I guess I will do these things. And so what the study indicated is, if you really, and what Google is trying to do with their algorithm, I think probably successfully, is finding quality. And the people that have quality content tend to be people that just really care about the content, you know? Like,
well, I always think about it like this, right? Like, if you're going to work, like you work for somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, John, you need to, your goal today is we need a page written about this chair over here.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And so they sit down and they write a page about the chair because that's what they're told to do.
Yeah.
Do they love it? No. Does it fulfill them? Probably not.
Right.
And that's about how the writing is going to come across.
Yes.
Whereas, like, if somebody was, like, really into something, like microphones or whatever, and they're just, like, into it, and they're fanatic about it, and they care, and they, you know, that's going to be amazing content.
It's going to be awesome.
I mean, at least I guarantee it's got a better chance of being better.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So it's hard, but you have to have that same love of whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
If you don't, then it's just, I don't know.
You're not going to do well.
No, content for content's sake is just stupid.
I think it's dead.
You find good content in the trash.
You do?
I don't know. I just wanted to
say that.
I don't really even know why.
I bet that's true, though. I bet that's true. Like, I've known artists, or I've read about artists that just threw away stuff.
Oh, like Nick from Family Ties. Remember, he would go through the trash and then make art out of it.
I do remember that. Yeah. Wow, that's a flash from the past.
Hey,
yeah, right.
Mr. Keaton.
Mr. Keaton. That's right. All right, everybody. I think that's enough for one day. Here, let me give you the link here to the Search Engine Land article that then gives. No.
Give them the PDF link.
Here.
Download this.
Here, just go here. You can download it and just take it home and just cuddle up with it tonight. You're going to love it. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. Don't forget to keep coming back to this thrilling, never dull moment here on the Tools, not on Fridays at 3:15. All right, everybody. Take care and have a great day.